I'm back. I have some unbelievable guests here tonight, guys. It's going to be a crazy show, and it is phenomenal to have Hustling Spirit in the building. Say what's up, y'all.
What's up, family?
What's going on?
How y'all doing?
Oh, man, I'm so happy to have you guys here. It's going to be an unbelievable show. Listen, I got a lot of good stuff coming for y'all, and it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. They're going to tell you their story, how everything began, and just give nuggets. When I met you guys, it was absolutely amazing. I think this is the third time we met, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Number 3. The third time's a charm.
Third time we met. And it each time was even more amazing. But I'm so crazy about your story, and everybody got to hear it, right? So listen, let's get started. All right. So this is my favorite part, right? My favorite part is you guys and your story, the craziness that comes with the story.
Yes.
So look, I just want to say, number one, thank you guys for being you, right? Thanks for living in your calling and not being afraid to do so. Every time I do a video, I just love to make sure I mention, because this is the most important part of this show, is that this is to inspire people. This is to motivate people. This is to show people that beyond all shadow of a doubt, they can do whatever it is that God has for them. Right?
Absolutely.
Amen.
So that being said, I am about to give the floor to you guys, because it's well-deserved for everybody that's listening, not even for you, because I believe that your story is not of your own. You know, your story is 100%, and your testimony is 100% to help somebody. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here it is. Here's the question. Can you lead us through the time where trepidation hit, you were going through tribulation, all the way up until now? I know the story, but all the way up until you guys started going into other ventures. Can you lead us? We're not going to get into the other ventures yet.
Yes.
That timeline, can you kind of go over that?
We were going through a bankruptcy, and we were pregnant during that time. So, and Craig was initially in the real estate, in the real estate world, flipping houses. So I recall one night, Craig woke up the next morning and was like, "Babe, I had a dream. I know what we're supposed to do. I know what we're supposed to be doing." He's like, I've been crying out to God. I've been trying to figure out what we're supposed to do. So he said he had a dream that he was in this beautiful home, and on the walls, as he got closer to them, there were beautiful pictures. But when he got closer and closer, they were actually T-shirts in cases. And the T-shirts were all in art form of Bible verses. And, so he was looking and he was seeing all the different symbols and everything.
All this beautiful pictures. So it started in Genesis too. It was so, God is so intentional. So he started me in Genesis, and we were just walking through. As I was walking through the house, I was looking, but it was all different beautiful scriptures from Genesis. And then it went to Exodus and Leviticus. So it just kept going down the Bible. So I was just like, wow. And like, as I said, I can remember it like it was yesterday. That's why I know it's more than a dream. It was a vision from God.
Yes.
So I was so excited. I was like, "Babe, guess what? I know what we're gonna do next. I know what I was born to do."
Yes.
And I was so hyped.
And I was looking at him like, no. First of all, we just got through this bankruptcy. We were going through the bankruptcy, okay?
Right.
And I'm like, you're gonna get you a regular old job, and we're not doing no business, okay? But then he had a second dream.
The next dream was God actually showed me exactly where I need to be working. So he actually showed me a picture of a hotel in the food and beverage services area, and like he showed me exactly what I needed to do. And that same morning, not even, I think it was the night. It was
like in the middle of the night.
I got up, went downstairs, went on the computer, went online. Don't you know that job was online waiting for me? I applied that same night, went back upstairs, went to bed, and I was just like, this is something, because God showed me that, and obviously that was provision for the vision, because we didn't have any money to start up a clothing line. We had minus money. So I knew where we were, so he had to build us up first.
Yes.
So
but rewind though, even before he got the position, it was a position he did not qualify for. Right. Even though he has a degree in hotel management, he didn't have experience in food and beverage.
Yeah. Right.
So we later found out there was hundreds of applicants for this one position. And it wasn't even full-time at first. Nope. It was a part-time position. So hundreds of applicants for one part-time position that he did not qualify for. But God, okay?
Yeah, he showed favor the whole time.
Yes.
To the interview process, everything. Like when I first got to the hotel, I saw somebody I knew.
Yes.
That person was like, I'm going to make sure, she was like, I'm going to make sure I tell the bosses about you. I know your caliber from the last time I worked with you, and you were amazing. So even that, make sure.
He put people in place to be a blessing. Like they were like on post. It was almost like they was there waiting for him. Because Craig didn't know he was going to run into these people that he used to work with before. And it was like they were already there.
Never burn your bridges. You know what I'm saying? And be nice to everybody. Everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
and they put in good words, and then he got the job. And he worked his butt off. Like he was doing that and doing other side food and beverage stuff to build up to eventually become full time.
Yeah.
And then that became provision for the vision.
And when we were putting aside $100 every paycheck, every paycheck until we stacked up enough for 2 years before we could even launch Hustling Spirit. But we didn't have any money. So I said, we had to pay my bills, put aside this money, pay the bills, put aside. That was the vision. And that 2 years we were talking to people, learning about how to even start a t-shirt company, because we wanted to do this in excellence. It wasn't going to be just a t-shirt company. This was going to be something what was going to be great.
We wanted to come out with a whole collection. But we didn't even have enough money for a t-shirt. Yeah. So we started off with wristbands.
Yeah, that's where we started
flipping wristbands like we was flipping houses.
Yes. Yes.
Man.
Oh,
yes.
Man.
So all right. Let's rewind a little bit because I'm taken aback by something. Okay. When you talk about those relationships built.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
This is a funny situation for a lot of people that are in marriages, a lot of people that are in relationships. There's an idea, and you can let me know if I'm right or wrong. There's this idea that when you're in a relationship or when you're in a marriage and you're building relationships, that the person can only deal with who the other person agrees with that you should deal with. You see what I mean? Am I making sense in saying that? Because I know I'm asking questions that a lot of people probably won't ask, right?
Right.
But I have to, because for somebody who might be in a position in their marriage and their relationship where they feel like they want to build something together, but there's a lot of bumping heads, right? What does that look like? What does that conversation look like? And what is that, what is that agreement like?
Yeah.
It took us a while too to get to where we are now, because we did used to bump heads and stuff a lot in the beginning, but we realized that God gave us gifts in our own lane. So as long as I'm doing, for me, it's the research and development. For her, it's advertising and so.
Yeah, I'm going to all the. I'm the Tammy talk a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not just
talking to the customer service and all that stuff she deals with.
Yes.
But God gave her those gifts, and if I stay in my lane, and then we don't bump heads too much, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna focus on this, and then if we need help, we talk to each other.
Absolutely.
But it's just like stay in that lane and don't keep bumping into each other.
Now, in terms of relationships, are you talking about also in marriage, when people come together and they have other relationships outside of their like friendships, that type of thing too? Is that what you're asking?
It's a lot, right? So it's a lot in that question, and I know I'm gonna try to dissect it the best way I can. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're in a relationship, everything should be communicated. We understand that part.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you're building, whether it be business we're going to keep it business relationships with the opposite sex, right?
Yes.
Oh, no.
When you're building a business relationship with the opposite sex, what does that conversation look like? Because there's a lot of temptation. Let's be straight.
Yes.
Yeah. And it comes from all different directions.
Right.
What is that conversation like, and how do you keep a muzzle on it?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, and we started. Oh, you go ahead, but we talked about that a long time ago.
Yeah. So, well, first and foremost, backtracking from when we first got together, you know, I was very uncomfortable with him having female friends that were like not my friends. You know what I mean? Right. Like that was outside of me. So that took a while for us to get on the same page, and then finally, you know, through wise counsel, you know, he spoke to other men who are married who kind of confirmed that for him. So we don't have friends that are not mutual friends that we both like that are of the opposite sex. So that's the first on the friendship platform. Yeah. In terms of business, whenever we're having conversations with, you know, the opposite sex, especially about business, we're in the same group. So we do a lot of like messaging and DMs and, you know, all that. We're both in there. Right. You know what I mean? Whether you think you only talking to me or you think you only talking to Craig, like we're both in that message. And we see the interaction that's going on. We're very respectful of that. Like if somebody sends me a message that's a male and they only send it to me, I'm creating a group and I'm adding my husband in there with me if he's not already in that message. But we gotta be very careful.
We take that stuff serious.
Yeah, because you know what the enemy or whoever you want to call, like if you take an inch, you know he'll take a mile. You know what I mean? All you need is one little crack to let the enemy in, and he try to do his stuff because he know your flavor. You know what you used to like prior to being married. Yeah. So he'll try to slide up in your DM on one of them days, you know. So like we try to, you know, be ahead of that and like, you know,
keep it transparent.
Keep it open communication.
Keep it open.
Exactly.
So you hit on a key point. And thank you for that response. That was exactly what I needed, right? Because a lot of people have to understand that the devil can do nothing to you physically. He cannot physically harm you without the permission of God. Let's put that out. But what he can do is he can seduce your thoughts. He can tempt you. And if you put yourself in that position, you in trouble.
Yes, absolutely. And don't think that you so in love and you so wrapped up in that person that you can't be tempted.
Have a dumb day.
You're right.
Everybody
like,
can.
You know, and that was kind of how it was in the beginning. Like, Craig was like, I'm like, listen.
Yeah, I didn't understand that part.
Big booty Judy. Okay.
Little mama thick, she gotta be booty. I call that girl right there, big booty Judy.
You know what I'm saying? Where I'm looking like, ain't your mama.
Yeah, I got all the baby over
there. So like I said, having wise counsel. It may not always be your wife that you get that from, but he had wise counsel that was like, you know, this is
as a married man, it's not, you know, it wouldn't be good, you know.
Point blank period.
So let me ask you another question, and this is specifically to your grandchildren, not your children, your grandchildren.
Yes.
Being business owners, right? And being the head of your family. The message that you're sending to your grandchildren is loud and clear based on your faith and your walk.
Yeah. Yes.
If ever at any point you start to see your grandchildren, not your children, because they're grown, but your grandchildren go astray, right? What are you using to bring them back in, to will them back in?
Definitely a lot of prayer, you know, a lot of prayer, a lot of the word of God, and, you know, raising them up that way that they know it. So they always say, you know, train up a child in one way, and then, you know, when they get older, they won't depart from it. So they might stray away sometimes. They might have dumb moments sometimes, but they know in the back of their mind, this is what, you know, I remember this from my childhood, what they instilled in me,
right?
You know,
and also just reminding them who they are. Like, even though, you know, we have I have one adult child, and then we have the 10-year-old. But even with my adult son, reminding them of the greatness that's in you, you know, and whose you are, and the amazing talents and gifts. You know, I always pour into our oldest son and let them know, like, you are so better than me. You are so better than us. You know, you that's what it says in the Bible, that your kids will do
surpass you.
Right. They'll surpass you. They'll do greater things than you. So I would say, if I was speaking to my grandchild and I seen them going astray, just reminding them, one, you are a kingdom kid, and you are a part of this legacy. So come on now, baby. Okay. Like you are a part of the Linton legacy. You know you got greatness inside of you. So you better just get right. Okay. Just get right.
Let's get to it. Let's get to it, because I got some stuff for y'all. Because you guys work amazingly with the community. Like, you got your community engagement alongside what you do is awesome. I really want everybody to hear about, how did that get started, from you just being an apparel business going into some of the other things that you guys do. Like, can we talk about that?
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about Project Elevation and.
Yeah, I kind of want to backtrack though, because just so like people who maybe just getting started, like just like how we began kind of getting into community is really getting out there doing like vending events and engaging people, like being like, we were at everybody's event. That's how we started to network, and people started to know who we were. Like, you know, they got a chance to find out who Kenya and Craig is. And, you know, doing the fashion shows, we ended up being a part of Atlantic City Fashion Week. And how in the world does a Christian clothing brand be named the top ready-to-wear designers?
That is crazy.
You know, like,
that's awesome.
It was so mind-boggling, but they not only fell in love with the brand, they fell in love with the movement and what Hustling Spirit meant, you know, going after your purpose and your passion, or the energetic tenacity. So that was kind of how the beginning started, where we kind of started getting community, and we have like an amazing network. And then from there, we started doing stuff for our local community, where people wanted to be a part of what we do. And we started doing the photo shoots. Yes.
Yep. So so we started with the photo shoots, and every quarter we would have a photo shoot where we would invite anybody who purchased from that new line to the photo shoot. So it would be amazing, just a community outpouring of people coming in and getting dolled up and getting makeup. We made
people feel like a superstar for the day. They would have their makeup, they would wear their Hustling Spirit gear. You got a professional photographer, you had a studio, and like people that, like, one of my friends would be like, so you mean to tell me they come to your photo shoot and you don't pay them to be in the photo shoot, but they gotta buy something from you to be in the photo shoot?
People can't wrap their head around it.
They can't wrap their head, but people like to feel a part of something, and something that they can connect with and they identify with. Like they might like the shirt, but if they love you, they love Kenya and Craig, and they love the movement, they love Hustling Spirit. I'm a Hustling Spirit. I can do this. I can do that. They feel connected. So that's one of the things that we do for our community. And then you said you want to go into the next steps.
Oh, like Project Elevation is another major thing that we do, because a lot along the way, as I said, me and my wife, we never went to school for business or any. Well, I went to school I minored in business, but you know, it was all new for us, especially in the beginning. So we made a lot of mistakes along the way. So those mistakes that we made, we actually wrote all the right ways to do things. So we have a little packet that we give people who are starting up, and they're like, okay, where do I even start to start a bag? How do I begin? You know, so like all those mistakes that we stumbled on, we didn't want the next person to fall too. So we did that. And then we have a whole thing called Project Elevation, where we get on a Zoom call with you and we consultate with see what your vision is, and see how we can help elevate that vision and bring it to life and bring it to that next step. So,
so we do, like, you know, branding. We help small business owners with their branding. So if they have items that they want to, you know, put their logos on, because when we first started, we had no money. So we have, you know, where you could buy one t-shirt, you can buy one bag. You don't have to buy in bulk, you know, and the prices aren't astronomical, you know, for you to get started. So we just we created that in 2019. And our goal was to only help like 100 people. We said we wanted to provide a service to 100 people, 100 businesses. When God was like, I didn't tell you to put a cap on that.
We still helping people today.
So we still
no lids.
Yes. You're like, I didn't tell you to. So, you know, and that feeling right there.
Yeah. When you see somebody else's vision come to life.
Man, when you help somebody else, like it's one thing for us to create something for us, like, oh, that's awesome. But to help somebody else take something that was just a thought and they had no way or no understanding how to get started. Now it's a tangible item.
And then somebody else buys it
and somebody buys
else's
it.
house.
Yes.
He's like, what?
And they just to see them light up, like to help somebody else's vision come to life. It's priceless. It's priceless.
Yes.
Wow. Yo, I'm sorry, I'm getting teary-eyed. Man, because like you know, one thing that is not understood a lot is people. You know, people that actually want to help and don't want to be selfish.
Right.
But
like we're so misunderstood by others. And the frustrating part is our hearts are so pure.
Yes.
You know, our hearts are so pure. And it seems like the purer the heart, sometimes the more the weight. You know?
Yes.
And what I'll say is and this is a message for everybody out there. So I'm about to preach just a little bit.
Yeah.
Whenever you feel like somebody's pressuring you to not be as pure as you are, you have to find a way to go to God. Because that's who he made you. And we're looking at two examples right here. Two lovely people who worship God and who says that my gift is not my own unless I'm helping other people.
Amen.
So number one, I want to thank you guys. I always do a hand clap. So here's where I do my hand clap. So I thank you guys so much because it's not a lot of people out here who understands that part. Because we're looked at as seducers. We're looked at as somebody that wants to get something out of nothing, you know, or people that to be fair, there's a lot of people out there like that. There's a lot of people out there who do take advantage.
Right.
But I want you guys really, since we're here, to talk about why it's so important to not be selfish.
That's so good. But as you were speaking, the one thing that was bringing out to me was, I remember before we started Project Elevation, we felt like something was still missing in our business. Even though we were having some great success and we were growing, there was something that was still missing in the business. And that's when we realized it was the service sector. Like we weren't serving in our business. You know, at that time it was just, you know, we would sell our stuff. People liked our stuff.
It's transactional.
It's transactional, right? Not transformational. You weren't transforming, you weren't impacting in that way. So and then I will say, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, this revelation just dropped down. That was really when the trajectory of our business changed. We really elevated to the next level, you know, where financially things started to change and opportunities and more open doors. So I say why it's so important to sow, right? It's principle, you know, those are seeds in the ground.
Seed time harvest. So it's like you're sowing into people, you're sowing into ministry, you're sowing into God's kingdom. Like when you give back, like what greater joy is it to see somebody else grow up and grow up and grow up, all these little trees that you done planted, you done sprouted on, and now they're growing up and they're making big money now and they're doing their thing for God. And
so it's that you're sowing your time, your talent, and your treasure. And we listen to a lot of personal development too, like Jim Rohn and all that. Right. Uncle Jim.
Yes, Uncle Jim.
And you know, where he talks about all the time, like you help people get what they want, then you can get what you want. You know what I mean? And you find a way to serve the many. And when I tell you that since we've been doing that, and then the other things that we do, like things have just grown amazingly, and the fulfillment of our business is there. We are really fulfilled.
And I want to say too, like for us, it's like we just want to be vessels. We always learn, like, if you be a vessel, that means God can use you. But if you hold on to everything, how is God supposed to pour into you? Because he's like, okay, I want to pour into you, but I want you to pour out now. But I can continue to pour as long as if you're closed off, you ain't going to get no more. So it's like you keep on pouring into these people around you, people who need your services and helping them.
And you can't outgive God. You serving his people,
yes,
and you are doing it with a genuine heart.
And you want to see them succeed.
You want to see God show off in your life.
Yes.
Just give a little bit.
Right.
Just give a tag, okay? I'm telling you, that you can't outgive God. You can't. You just can't do it.
Nitty gritty time.
Oh, I thought we already went to the nitty gritty.
Nope. We gotta get to the nitty gritty time. You ready? So the nitty gritty is you guys, right? You guys as people, because although you're married, you're also individuals.
Yes.
All right. And each individual has their own dreams and has their own ideal of how to run things. And I know, like, look, we're not going to get a corporate answer here, because the corporate answer is we do everything together. All right, I get that. And I know you do, right? But you, like I said, you guys are individuals.
Yeah.
When you are at that moment where your wife doesn't agree with you or your husband don't agree with you, like what is it that allows you guys to still work and be successful and consistent? Like you brought up consistency. Be consistent in everything that you do, especially being business owners.
Yeah. What you would say?
Oh, these must be good questions.
Yeah,
they're good. Oh yeah,
this is good.
So some of the stuff for me, it's like I don't let like big things, like something like small. I'll put it this way: don't major in minor things.
Yeah.
So put it that way. So you hear what I'm saying? Yeah. So like if it's something that is not really gonna make or break your business, why are you gonna have a whole battle for it? You know what I'm saying? It's not even worth it.
I'm cracking up because we just had this today.
Yeah, even today we had one.
Today, it was so funny.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody could be a fly on the wall in here. But that's exactly what it was. Like, it was something that was very
so minor,
but I'm like, whatever. Like, I don't really care. They're like, well, do you want to do this? And I'm like, well, I really, like, if it's gonna be that much, I don't care. And so we had our little bickering moment. But I don't know if this comes with age or what. After a while, you forget what you was even arguing about,
Right?
And then we right back, like busting it up regular
laughing again. Yeah, we ain't holding no grudges.
Like before, I was like, I ain't talking to you all day long. Okay?
Right.
You said something crazy to me, but
you grow.
You just really grow, and like Craig said, like don't sweat the small stuff. You know what I mean? And we really do, like for the most part, try to stay in our own lanes in our businesses. Yeah. Like I'm customer service, I'm social media, I'm this, I'm that, and then sometimes Craig will be trying to help. I'll be like,
yeah, just go back over there.
No. delete that email. Delete the email.
I got you, boo.
Like, I drafted up the email. No.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. But so we really for the most part stay in each other. Right. And he's good with the project elevation because he has the patience of Job. Yeah. So like he could go back and forth with the customer and I want to change this. Can you make this blue? Can you make this red? I'd be like, that's yours. That's you.
Right.
I can't do it. Okay.
We all got different gifts.
Our strengths and our weaknesses and stuff like that. But I can all day customer service, the emails and all that good stuff. So that's kind of how we deal with it.
Yeah.
So one of the things I do struggle with, that I think you guys do a good job with, is the structure of the business, right?
Yeah.
So it's two of you. If you were talking to a single business owner about structure, what way would you lead them? Like how? Because here it is. Structure is one of those things that can make or break a business. If, in my opinion, I know I'm partially structured, right? Mm-hmm. And me being partially structured says, yes, you can build relationships, right? But in order to maintain relationships, you have to be structured. Let's be honest, right?
Absolutely.
So that's I'm giving that to you guys because I'm not 100% there.
Right. And
so
we again, that's another area of growth where we had to grow to get there. Like it wasn't like all of a sudden we were like, okay, so this is what you're going to be in charge of, and this is what I'm going to be in charge of. Like it really happened trial and error, like realizing, okay, you're stronger in this. Because at first, like I was doing like some of the project elevation and helping people, but then I realized like Craig is actually really good with that. You know what I mean? And much more patient. But in terms of a single person, I would say like creating a schedule, like time management is huge, you know, and really sticking to it as much as possible. Obviously, when you work for yourself, you work way longer, way harder. But learning to yes, and learning to, you know, turn it off. Like if somebody's texting you or messaging you after your office hours, you're not going to get a response until tomorrow at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever.
You got to turn it off.
You got to turn it off because you'll be up all night. You'll be up all night answering emails or text messages.
Getting back to people.
And then after a while,
you get burnt out.
You get burnt out. And I said this the other day on another platform that I was on. When you make exceptions, that becomes the expectation. So you don't want to keep making all these exceptions to your rules. You have to create those boundaries, those standards, so that people respect you, your time, and you know, and what you bring. So you really have to, you know, create that. I would say time management. Like, okay, if you still working your full-time job, then maybe only on, you know, Mondays, Wednesdays, you're doing your emails, Zoom links out, you know what I mean? So, you know, if you don't have my email by Wednesday night, then you can send me a message or whatever, you know, just creating that structure for yourself and that time management, you know, make yourself a schedule. Yeah. That's what I would say.
Man. All right. Listen, guys, we going to have a part 2 of this, of course. All right. Because you guys, it's so much I want to ask. Right. And I just don't have enough time in this particular 42, 43 minutes that we got. But you guys answered a lot of my questions, and beautifully, by the way. So thank you. And thank you for allowing me to interview you. Right?
It was awesome, man.
Great. You're great. You asked some great questions. Make us think. You make us like, pause on that one.
Right. Then the energy is great, you know.
Oh man, authentic. Thank you. I do have one before we leave. One more question. For all the entrepreneurs that are in their rough patch right now, right? They're not understanding where to go. They feel like nothing's going right. They feel like they can't get anything off the ground. What's your message to them?
Mindset. I would say start with that mindset. So in the mornings, you got to start your day. How you start your day is how your day is going to be. So it's just like in the mornings, you just got to start filling your head up. If you believe in God, have some time with God. And then after that, have your personal development time. And that time is, even if it's 5 minutes, but it's just time you listen, you go to YouTube and you put in personal development, motivation, just something motivating, something that inspires you. Some, you know, Jim Rohn or who's the people?
We listen to Eric Thomas. We listen to
Miles
Monroe, Les Brown. Like those are our favorites. Grant Cardone. Yes.
Listen. So I'm gonna tell y'all a story. When I found out that Les Brown followed Jim Rohn, my mind was like,
blown.
It was like, that's crazy. So I didn't know about Jim Rohn until I heard Les Brown's speech about one of the four, he called them the four fathers, right? One of the four fathers, and Jim Rohn was one of the four fathers that introduced him into public speaking, and he was able to get some information. And I said, yo, that's crazy. So when I finally started listening to Jim Rohn, I said,
you like that's Les Brown right there. Like he's talking so much of stuff. Yes.
I get so giddy when I hear like, because you talked about Jim Rohn earlier and his message. And his message is always to help other people. He don't talk about himself.
Never.
He talk about other people and bringing other people along. So thank you for bringing that up, because I was like, yo, he knows Jim Rohn.
And what you're doing right now, like that kind of how Jim Rohn started. Like he was speaking for free. He was going out there speaking and talking to people for free. He was like, I don't think nobody would pay for what I was doing initially, but after a while, people was paying him top dollar, to come and speak. So yes, personal development, get your mindset. Right. Yes, change your mind, change your life. Yes. It will change your life because if you do get into personal development and you get into the science of the mind doesn't really decipher, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't know what's real and what's not. It only produces and
it's trying to solve problems.
Exactly.
So you give it a problem, it's going to try and solve it all night long. It's trying to solve that problem. So like it said, you get your mindset right, you can do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. And I would say be open to like we had to pivot in this pandemic, like before our business was strictly like kind of face to face, we were at vending events, we were in boutiques and all that. And then with the pandemic, vending events shut down, boutiques closed. Yeah. So, our online sales wasn't really big back then. Yeah. So we had to shift, do something that was uncomfortable. We began doing marketing online that we weren't doing before, so we had to really take a leap of faith and shift and change gears in our business. So just be okay. Like, don't become a dinosaur where like, I've always did it this way. I got to stay doing it this way. Right. And, be open to, obviously staying true to your vision, but being able to pivot with the times if you have to.
Yeah, man. So thank you for that. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of people that hears that and receives it, and I hope that it is. I can feel the love through this screen.
Yes,
I can really feel the love through the screen. So thank you. I believe in everything that you're going to do. Like I said, I am going to donate. I always tell people I don't have the money, but God gives it to me, so I got to give it to somebody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Don't be surprised if you see a little song pop up in your mailbox. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Maybe it'll work out. I don't know. But I do appreciate you guys for spending time with me because I know how busy you guys are. I really do. Yeah, and for you to keep your word, not only for the floor is yours, but for Girl Talking the Spirit, for Siobhan as well.
Shout out to Siobhan.
Shout out Siobhan.
Yes. Oh, girl.
Yeah. But thank you for being true to your word. And I'm going to say thank you to all those business owners who you helped, who never said thank you. Because I'm sure there are.
That's a whole nother story.
Lord. I felt that in my shana now.
Yeah.
But it's
I'm going
to
say thank you for them. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you let everybody know where to reach you and what platforms to reach you on, please?
Absolutely.
www.hustlingspirit.com. That's our website.
Yes. And for our social media, for both Facebook and Instagram, we are Hustling Spirit Clothing or at Hustling Spirit Clothing. And if you need to email us, if you want a consultation with through Project Elevation, you can email us at info@hustlingspirit.com. Or if you are on our website checking us out, if you click the collab button, it'll show you all about our program and how to contact us and what we do and what we offer. So that's on hustlingspirit.com. Yes. Click the collab button.
Nice. You guys rock, man.
Thank you.
Like an old rock and roll band. If somebody played the guitar like that, I don't know anybody that would.
Yes.
We won't want to go to that concert. All right, so it's been great, man. I so appreciate you guys so much, and I keep saying it, but thank you. I can't thank you enough. So guys, so everybody that's watching this, man, I hope you guys get something out of this. It's so many nuggets in this interview. Trust me, nuggets have been dropped. It's like gold being dropped everywhere. So we as a community appreciate you, and I'm sure the church appreciates you too. And even for those people who didn't say thank you, they appreciate you. And we're about to get up out of here. So peace, love, boom, we out, baby.